Amen. Let's go, people.
All right, Coach Purcell, start us out with open statement. Looking forward to questions.
Yeah, just bend but don't break. Shout out to everybody in the organization. We've been talking about this. It's time. It's time to finally capitalize on the last 4 games and the moments that you've had runs. You've shown you've been a top 25 team, but you haven't put it to fourth quarter. It's time for our fans, which I thought they were phenomenal today in the spirit, because there's droughts that we had. And I've always said this, I'll take on anybody in the country here at the Hump. And I thought their knowledge of the game, their passion, their energy, again, just provided an environment that set that 3 up for Trey, that this place went nuts and you couldn't hear anything. And I live for those moments, right? That's the beauty of this game. Boy, it can humble you, but boy, there's a lot of great moments that I absolutely love coaching in this building, and tonight was one of those nights.
Some big shots in the game by Trey and Carissa, but it seemed like everything kind of started by what y'all did defensively, specifically rebounding. Last year, you could really see how that length bothered y'all, shot blocking, rebounding. Y'all dominated on the boards tonight. What did you feel like was the key for y'all to have that success against some of their longer players?
Yeah, shout out to Tony Dukes, Samantha Williams, Anita Howard, and Fred Castro for having one heck of a scout. After that heartbreaker on Thursday, we actually gave off Friday, and we just went to the war room. We knew we're beat up. It's that time of year with bodies, so we just put one heck of a game plan together, and shout out to them for coming with different matchups. Tony Morgan and Kenny Brooks, like I have so much respect for Kenny Brooks. He's a great friend, but he's a Hall of Fame coach. Obviously, it's heartbreaking where they're missing Key right now because that's a big piece, but you still got to show up against a dynamic team that's got a ton of pieces. And I thought us switching certain people to try to contain Tony Morgan, you're not going to stop her, but if we can put our leading shot blocker in the SEC on her, maybe we can, come up with some steals. And then I just told him in the Vanderbilt game, I thought we had a great scout. But I talked about this 2 weeks ago. It's got to be 50, 40, 10. 50% it's got to come from the heart. 40% it's got to come from the mind and understanding the scout. And then the last 10% it's got to be a dogfight. In the Vanderbilt game, it's a 3-point game. I call a timeout to rest, and next thing you know, we're down 11 to end the third. And I kept referring back to them. Here's that moment again. The basketball gods are testing you. I think it was a minute 45, and it was a 4-point game or 5-point game. I said, what are we going to do? Are we going to have the same story like we keep crying about in the locker room, or are you going to change the course? And they just, again, had a spirit about them that they did not want to lose, and that's what championship teams have to have.
Yeah, on that Vandy game, and even though you weren't able to come through with a win, it seems like just this team this week has been different than what happened at Ole Miss a week ago. What's maybe changed in the week since then that's got you guys playing at this level?
Playing at the Hump. I mean it. I keep saying it. I think I got one of the best fan bases in the country. The energy in this building is just, it's different. When we're loud and that roof and that noise is coming off and our band and our students back, it just provides a juice that you just don't think you can get beat. And this team, again, is a young team that has normal moments. We don't have that championship DNA, but our fans do. They lived for this, and they knew that we needed a certain point to get my back and take us to another level. And again, I can't wait to, when I get done here, to go watch that play where Des hits Trey in transition. And I think it was just as loud as when we played LSU here. It was goosebumps. And at that point, it's on and popping. At that point, you're not losing the game, and that's what we did.
Chris has another big game, third or fourth big game in SEC play. What have you noticed? Have you noticed anything different about her since conference play started?
Senior. That's what seniors do. Me and her have had great talks. It's like, I brought you here for, certain reasons. Just be you, kid. Third chance you. Let's make it the best one. You've been at Arizona State. You've been at North Carolina. Now it's your time you get the keys. You were the kid when things went bad. You never got a chance again. And here at Mississippi State, the cards are different. And she kind of looked at me and she was like, you're right. She stayed the course. She believes in herself, but most importantly, she believes in her teammates. And that's karma. And when you have a karma that's an awesome DNA, good things will happen to you. And tonight was her night. I even thought she could go for more. I challenged him in the first quarter. I could see that little swagger she does, like a Steph Curry. And I was like, y'all, Trey just hit one, and y'all haven't hit her in 5 more possessions. Like, when Trey has that look, we got to find another way, and credit my team for finding her in the second half.
You go with a lineup with Carissa, Maddie, and Favor all out there to start with. You get a good run to go out the gate, and then you go back to that a few more times over the rest of the game. What were you seeing from those matchups, how things maybe opened up? I know Trey hit a couple of threes with those guys on the floor, too.
Yeah, so I probably should have answered your question, Sam, with that. We're going bigger. SEC is some of the best athletes in the country. Shout out to Favor, 20 boards. Like, are you kidding me? That kid's heart was relentless against, I think, the second leading shot blocker behind Madison and Clara. So she got blocked. It was, okay, you got me once, but I'm coming right back. And then shout out to Rich, too, just putting time in the gym. Again, upperclassmen are doing what upperclassmen need to do. They got to be tough. They got to lead the way as we get into March so everybody else can follow.
Yeah, you talked about it a little bit, but after getting up at least 89 points in each of the last 4 games, I mean, just what was the big difference on defense today?
How many have we been giving up?
I think 89 at least.
I thought I forgot about that. I was just being funny. No, it's just come to Jesus meeting. Like, to your point, y'all, we're giving up 89 points. It's terrible. And then, again, we took it up another level in practice where we go, you got to get 3 stops in a row because I thought we had some soft mental behavior. We did war rebounding, all right, which is not fun. It's one-on-one. You hit your teammate, they hit you for 30 seconds. How many rebounds can you get without the ball hitting the floor? Who wants it more, right? Dog mentality, and that's the 10% that I'm trying to make sure they get back to that I thought we had, that we kind of lost earlier in the SEC play, and I think you saw that toughness needed for 2 top 10 matchups here at the Hump, and we had a chance to go 2-0 this week.
You talked whenever you brought in some of these transfers about getting them back to their career highs, like Trey and Carissa too. And Carissa's had a couple of tough seasons, and she's come back here, and it seems like you just kind of let her do her thing. And she's had 2 really, really good games in conference play.
Yeah.
What did you see from her when you were after her in recruiting that you felt like she could be a big part of this and do what she did tonight?
Yeah, I saw Maisha Hines-Allen, who had at Louisville, who's in the WNBA, a kid who actually has guard skills. It's almost like a men's player, like a Draymond Green for Golden State. The perfect matchup, who can post up and turn over either shoulders. A young lady who can rip and drive and run the floor like you saw in Vanderbilt, where she went for a track layup that was beautiful. And then a lady who I knew if she put in time and got in the gym, she could develop a three-point shot. And the basketball gods obviously were good to her tonight. Sometimes you need luck. She shot that corner 3 that hit the front of the rim, and it bounced up, and I think the whole gym got quiet, and we got a nice home court roll. And then it was like, you know what? You deserve that because of the hours you've been putting in, and that's the vision I have for her. It's just a 3-level scorer that can, make our roster very special, and boy, did she make some special plays tonight.
No, you like to make that annual bet with your kids, with the swimming pool and all that. Was this that game, or
It was.
what's
Yes.
what's the prize?
I was at Louisville for 9 years. So one phone call, I'm sure, now Kenny's my good friend, but Jeff Walls is also my former boss. I'm sure he's going to text me as well, along with Card Nation after my 9 years. There's a rival there. But, yeah, it's the treehouse. Obviously, we had so much respect for Kentucky. The kids wanted this one on the map. So I'm asking all the famous, HG, help me out, what's the HGTV people? If you guys can start tweeting the right people and let them know I got 3 little girls at home that we always try to do something special, and maybe we can make this a TV show and give again shout out to my young women. They had almost Texas last year, the #1 team in the country, and tonight they got Kentucky. So what we're going to celebrate like no other at Taste tonight.
I saw you tweet out on Friday about Eric Holberg
Yeah.
signed up a few hundred tickets to help fill some seats tonight. Can
Yes.
you talk about that support from him and for the program?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, again, that's why I signed an extension here. That's why I absolutely love this job. It's simple, it's people. That's why I told everybody, don't give up on me, don't give up on these young women. We take pride of wearing this Mississippi State jersey. We're fighting, clawing, scrapping for everything that we got to get, and we're good with that because that's the Bulldog way. And for people to acknowledge the hard work that we're trying to do and the passion that we play, and for an owner of a restaurant to grab me and put his arm around me and is like, man, I got a couple of guys who love women's basketball, and we want to do something special. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, we're going to buy 300 tickets, and we're going to hand them out, because your girls deserve a crowd. right? Your girls play with heart and they play the Mississippi State way. And again, I thought that was the reason we won today. It was the best crowd we had all night. There was an energy that I keep talking about as a DNA here at Mississippi State that we can't be denied when we're one, and that we're going to find a way, and that's what happened tonight.
Same.
You had Melissa here for the first time and got into the game a little bit. What's it been like just getting her acclimated to everything, and what kind of role do you think she might be able to have?
Yeah, we're taking it day by day. For her, we're calling it the 48 miracle at the hump. She was only here for 48 hours. Shout out to Jimmy Yu, who I got to make sure no global organizations take them from me, because we did everything from Passport U to Airline U to Delta U to get her bags here, to get her in school, to get her housing. I mean, if you could have seen the hard work that guy did behind the scene. She gets here. We do an hour before practice of going through plays. We're trying to help the kid. She goes and practice yesterday and scores 12 points. The whole team, which was cool to see, starts cheering. They start feeding her the ball. They wanted her to score more, kind of like tonight, like you saw Trey. And I was like, oh, we ain't waiting. I said, girl, if a moment presents itself, I want you to get the jitters out, and we'll put you in. And then obviously this is a perfect time to have an off week so she can get adapted to our playbook, but most importantly, adapted to the way I talk. I talk fast. I'm a Southern boy, so you gotta pray for that young lady from France trying to understand someone like me and everyone down here in Mississippi. But she's happy. She's passionate. Another young lady who signed with us without even taking an official visit. She believes in the vision and she believes in these people, and I can't wait to see her future.
And Maddie was wearing a mask on her face today. Does she have a broken nose or something, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah. So she's got a little fracture in her nose. I love that kid. All right. If you go back in the video last year, that was the Batman mask that she had, that unbelievable dunk. Right? She just becomes a whole different person. It's cool. Her being from Buffalo, her toughness. We joked last week that she was my mummy because she was wrapped up and her shoulders been banged up. Most freshmen would quit. She's just getting started. And what other people don't understand, she didn't practice y'all yesterday. She was sick. Dr. Poe was taking care of her. We put on the injury report that she was probable because we didn't think she was going to play. And again, it's just a testimony to her and the dog and DNA that she's like, I'm not letting my team down. I'm going to fight. I took her out early at the 6-minute mark because I wanted her to breathe because she can't even breathe through her nose. And she played 30 minutes tonight. Like, who does that? Right? But, her DNA, the way she's been raised, but most importantly, the way she plays the game is special. I thought she had a phenomenal block there with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds that just really sealed the deal and let us help make it that run to make sure this wasn't a close game.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate you.
What's your record in the games that you picked to have to do something and win?
3-1.
Just text